Good morning and welcome back to another video here from the off-grid garage. It is still summer. Got 140 amps, 160 I have seen this morning. We are getting 11 kilowatts from the solar system there. Everything is in full swing. And I tell you, it is pretty muggy in here in the garage. I have tried to replace the air condition with a fan and see what the outcome is if I blow some air, not colder air, some air onto this equipment. And I'm recording all the numbers. Temperatures are still rising, just not as fast anymore as without a fan. But in today's video I want to show you something completely different. I want to show you actually something what is happening with my two Victron inverters here, which are connected in series. So at the moment you can see both are running. I'm running the Multiplus 2 here in a hybrid mode at the moment. It gets the AC in, the grid connection from the Phoenix inverter on the other side. So this one is our base generation, feeds into this, and this adds additional power on top of it depending on what is requested, what is demanded from our loads. And this worked well since the installation last year. Well, kind of. There is a bit of a problem I want to show you. So how this all works is you basically go into the configuration of the Multiplus and set up an assistant for a generator start-stop. And then you set two thresholds in this assistant, one for starting the generator and one for stopping the generator. I have two of these assistants set up. Whenever my load is over 3.5 kilowatt, it turns on the Phoenix generator after 60 seconds. And the other rule is if my load is over 4 kilowatt, it turns on the generator immediately. And then both rules are set to turn off the generator again if our load is under 2.5 kilowatts for 5 minutes. So this is just to prevent the generator from kicking in and out all the time. And here I want to quickly show you the assistance in the VE configure for the Multiplus 2. So as you can see, I've got two generator start-stop assistants installed. And you go into the summary here, you can see it closes the relay to start the generator. This will happen at 4000 watts for 10 seconds. And then it stops again at 2.5 kilowatts for 5 minutes. And the second assistant is 3.5 kilowatts for 5 minutes. It will kick in as well. Or 2.5 kilowatt for 5 minutes, then it turns off again. So this is very easy to implement and to program, and these are the only assistants I'm having here in this off-grid system. So the Phoenix inverter can deliver around 2 kilowatts permanently, roughly, if it's not too hot. And this one can deliver 4 kilowatts on top of the two. So we've got 6 kilowatts available power with this combination then. And this is exactly what you can see in the VRM when you have a look and the generator is running. So it's not a real generator with petrol or diesel. It is the Phoenix inverter acting like a generator for the Multiplus. And here we have a total load of 3.2 kilowatts and 1.9 is coming from the Phoenix generator and the rest is being delivered by the Multiplus. And in the remote console you can actually set the threshold for how much power the Phoenix inverter is delivering. So the current limit is at 9 amps at the moment. And you can go positive, negative, -1. See, now it would deliver only 7 kilowatts. And we will see the generator is actually ramping down. 1.4 it's delivering only. And the Multiplus is now ramping up its effort to keep the 3.2 kilowatts alive. And you can fully control this system from remote from your mobile phone as well. And totally depending on the load condition, you can ramp up the generator or ramp it down if it gets too hot in summertime, for example. And then the Multiplus does the rest on top of it to supply all the power to your load. And this all works fine. This works totally fine automatically since we installed this last year when we built the Powerwall. But now, here's the problem. Okay, let me ramp up the Multiplus, let me ramp up the inverter to 10 amps again, so that's around 2 kilowatts it delivers, and 1.2 kilowatts is coming from the Multiplus. So I'm currently charging the vehicle with 10 amps. If I ramp this up here to full 16 amps, which is the maximum, so this is around 3.6 kilowatts into the vehicle then, a single phase. And we can see now the generator still delivers its 2 kilowatts, and the Multiplus has ramped up its effort to supply the 4.2 kilowatts all in total into our network. And this runs forever. This runs for hours now, for hours. So what I will do is I will now start the irrigation pump here, which is an inductive load. It will start up with around 1 kilowatt. So you will see this here in the remote console. 4.6 kilowatt is the actual power we are delivering at the moment, and I'm turning on the pool pump right now. Here it comes, 5.7, 5.2. You can see everything is working fine, no problem at all. Yeah, there's no issue at all. I can run the pool pump, I can run the vehicle on full blast. Now I can charge with maximum power. I can have the extension cable and the inverter running to the house and have the air condition plugged in. So, and I have used the system, as I said, since we have installed the Powerball here last year. So this is like 7-8 months ago now, and it has always worked flawlessly, no problem at all. And I have tested this system with all kind of combinations as you would do. So pool pump, irrigation pump, vehicle charging. I had my garden shredder running, electric chainsaw running. This was all plugged in at the same time and all was working fine. There was never an issue. Well, until recently. And I want to show you what is new. Yep, the air condition. This all worked well with these two inverters until I introduced the air condition here in the garage. I want to show you what happens. So, I have now throttled down the car charging to 8 amps. And we are currently delivering 2.7 kilowatt to the whole system. So the pool pump is running. I've got some DC loads connected here. The Phoenix inverter still delivers 2 kilowatt to the system, and 0.7 is coming from the Multiplus. You can see this here. It delivers around 630 watts at the moment. And I think 2.7 kilowatts is around half of what we can deliver here with this system. So we are a bit under 50%. But now let me turn on the air condition, which runs from these two inverters as well. And we are turning on the air condition now. Yeah, it kicks in. And immediately you can see the inverter dropping out and the mains is off. So there's no AC input anymore from this inverter to this inverter here, just by turning on the aircon. Now, turning on an aircon is always a big surge, because when the compressor starts, it can pull a lot of energy. Can you hear this humming? There, off again, just by running the air condition. Off again. Could you hear the inverter humming? And this is only if I introduce the air condition. Yeah, again. It makes this weird noise as if the power output, there again, drops out again. See, gone. And it keeps cycling that until forever. So turning off the aircon again. Phoenix kicks back in. We've got the mains back from the Phoenix inverter. We are assisting again and everything is good. 2.7 kilowatts, as if nothing has ever happened. Okay, let me stop the vehicle charging here altogether. You're turning this completely off, and I'll turn back on the air condition because it is nice. So you can see at the moment the generator is idling with 900 watts. The Multiplus is on pass through, so it doesn't deliver any power at all, maybe a few watts or something. No, it's actually not. Negative 29 it says. Because I turned it off and on a couple of times now quickly, we need to wait until the compressor kicks back in. Okay, have you just seen what happens when the air condition kicked in? The camera didn't roll, but the screen recording was still rolling. So you could see as soon as the power output rose, the inverter kicked off again. It just disappeared and the Multiplus is switching off then. And now we can hear again some sort of humming in the inverter again here. It is not as clean running as with all the other loads I have. You can hear it again. It makes this up and down humming as if there is a peak load coming all the time. And here, looking into the Multiplus, we can see the input current. This is the input current coming from the Phoenix inverter. It goes from 7 amps up to 11 amps, we can see sometimes. So it goes up and down by 4 amps. And I don't know if this is a healthy stuff for a generator either. It's just it's humming again. But there again. Drops out again, and then we've got an overload situation for just a second here with the Multiplus. But there's no power loss or something. Now it switches on the AC again. I can hear the Phoenix inverter already humming again up and down. And I tried many combinations now with charging the vehicle on different speeds, changing the inverter output to a smaller or even higher current. And sometimes you get the right combination and everything runs in harmony. And just going back into the VE configure file we have for the Multiplus 2, you can see under grid, there's no grid code or something turned on because we are off grid here, we don't need that. But the transfer switch actually is installed and activated because we want to use the UPS function. Whenever the Phoenix inverter is not there, we want to have the Multiplus taking over the whole load and keep the show running. And the settings are AC low disconnect 180 volts, AC high disconnect 265. So this is what the Multiplus allows on the AC input. So if you have a petrol or diesel generator and the engine is going up and down for whatever reason because the motor is not running nicely, your voltage at the end will go up and down as well. And if you pull a heavy load from the generator, your voltage will go up and down as well. And this is why you can set these two thresholds here for the Multiplus to accept this still as an AC signal on the input. So it's a fairly wide range actually, 180 to 260 volts. So in here you can see the same situation again from the VRM perspective. So we've got the generator with 2 kilowatts set and the Multiplus is delivering 0.5, 0.6, 0.7 kilowatts on top of that to achieve the 2.7 kilowatt output. So at the moment everything is fine, so there's no freak out anymore because, as I said, sometimes they're finding this harmony and they're working together just fine. And again we can hear an abnormal humming of the Phoenix inverter. You can feel the peak. If you put your hand on the inverter, you can feel as if a peak is coming and it's ramping up the power output suddenly and then down again at the same moment. So it's just a and then sometimes it's running fine for hours with the air condition running, but only occasionally. So, and I have now introduced the hot water system here. We are outputting 4 kilowatts from the Multiplus, 2 kilowatts from the Phoenix, and another 2 kilowatts from the Multiplus, makes 4 altogether. Yeah, we've got the hot water system finally connected, so I can dump 2 or 2.5 kilowatts per day into the hot water. I know it's not that much, right? If you generate like 60 or 70 kilowatts a day, 2.5 kilowatts is not that much, but still every bit helps. I'll show you the installation in a later video. But now, even with this 4 kilowatt load, the inverter works fine with the air condition running at the same time. So we now found this harmony thing again where both inverters are totally working fine together. And let me turn on the irrigation pump again. You should see a spike there. Yeah, almost 5 kilowatts, 4.5 now. everything working fine, no abnormal humming, it's all good. Okay, let's go back in the vehicle. Slowest settings, start. So this would be another 1 kilowatt, 1.1 kilowatt, 1.2 kilowatts on top of the 4. Then again, freaked out. The car hasn't even started yet. And now we've got an overload situation because we are pulling more than 4 kilowatt from the Multiplus. It is a 5 kVA inverter, and now it's using the power from the Phoenix inverter again. It can handle this for a couple of minutes, so no problem at all. But we are talking about 5 kilowatts here, all in total. So we've got now pool pump running, hot water system is running, the air conditioner is running, and the car is charging. And plus the additional loads we have here. There again, just freaks out. And then you can see immediately the generators disappearing and all the load is coming from the Multiplus. Now we can see the red light here as well. And then it accepts the incoming power from the Phoenix again. So let's have a look again. Input voltage 230. It still recognizes that. Let's see if we can see anything here. 230, 28, 29. It's going up and down quite a bit, right? Again. So it's frequently happening now. Okay, I'm turning off the hot water system. Okay, it kicks in again. Now I can still hear it humming, like if there was some peak power demand. But the car is a very, very constant load. The air condition should be fairly constant. Pool pump is running very constant. It's not like someone is turning on the microwave all the time, or you have an induction cooktop or something, you know, it constantly kicks in and turns off again. These are all fairly constant loads. Okay, turn off the aircon. That makes my system happy. Turn on the hot water system. 3.6, and now we are ramping up the car charging. 5.3 kilowatts. Can I go one higher? 5.5. 5.8. One more. 6 kilowatts. Running like a dream. No problem. No freak out, nothing. 6 kilowatts. This is the maximum output of both inverters now. 4 kilowatt plus 2. No problem. No aircon. Pool pump, hot water, car charging, and rest of it. 6.2. Can I go one higher? We may get the overload. Yep, there's the overload. So 4.2 kilowatts from the Multiplus, which is now 28 amps it delivers. So 6.3 kilowatts now all in total. No problem. But as soon as I introduce the aircon, it is freaking out completely. Under certain circumstances only. And I don't know why. And here have a look at the Victron Connect app directly connected to the Phoenix inverter now. The output voltage is going down from 225 to 235. Up and down all the time. This is what I found strange already. At this point of time, I'm not sure if this is caused by the Phoenix inverter itself, or if the Multiplus is requesting. I can't request anything from this one. This is a standalone generator generating power to the system, and this one adapts on top of it. So regardless what this one produces, this one adapts. The only one the Multiplus does is limiting the power coming from the Phoenix inverter. But still, I don't know why we see such a big change in AC output voltage. No vehicle charging at the moment, but the air conditioner is running. I'm turning off the air conditioner for a moment. Okay. Look at this. Look at this shit. 230 constant. Uh-huh. There we go. Okay, let me turn on the vehicle charging. Start charging. The poor car must thinking, what is Andy doing again? What test is he doing again today? Okay, so let's go to 8 amps. Go back in the Victron Connect app. And you can see constant output, 230 volts. And this is why everything works just fine. But as soon as we introduce the air condition here, the voltage goes up and down for some reason. That is strange, right? So running the compressor inside the air condition is an inductive load. Pool pump is an inductive load. Hot water system is a 100% resistive load. Vehicle charging, not sure, it could be a inductive load as well, because we've got a switching charging power supply inside. It makes like 400 volts out of 230 with the internal charger inside the car. So let's do another test. Change the actual output of the inverter, of the Phoenix inverter, from 10 to 12 amps, except maybe one more, 13 amps. Okay, 13 amps coming. 2.6, 2.7 kilowatts. Yeah, we've got the alarm coming up, overload. It can do it for a while. There it is as well, overload warning. But look at this, constant 230 volt output, as you would expect it. Okay, I'm probably setting this one to 9. There we go. Okay, let's turn off the vehicle charger again. Let's actually turn off the hot water system and turn off the pool pump, turn off the irrigation pump. It's not running anyway, but let's turn it all off. Turn off all the load. So we've got 180 watts output only of the Multiplus at the moment. It's a pass through, and now I'm turning on the air conditioner again. Wow, it freaks out completely. As soon as I turn on the air condition, the Multiplus is freaking out. Here it comes. Air condition just kicked in, but still nice and constant 230 volt output. So now there's no trouble at all. But this is the only load at the moment. Let me turn on the pool pump again. Now, as soon as I turn on the pool pump, the Phoenix drops out again. Okay, this is now pool pump and inverter together, and we can see the output voltage of the Phoenix is not constant. Why is this happening? Is this too much inductive load? Two motors running? Can't be. Okay guys, I think so far my observation from today, I'll leave this with you, with the experts. I'm not 100% sure why this is happening. The only explanation I have is we've got inductive loads, the pool pump and the compressor here inside the air condition, which is running, and it freaks out the system. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm really keen to read your comments about this one. What I'm usually doing is I'm running the air condition here from another inverter, from the Xia inverter, for example. And what we can also try is running the Phoenix inverter at a future stage from our Seplos batteries here. So because they're all connected to the same battery, but there's no DC ripple or something, no alarm. It is pure constant DC they are both getting. And the cables are 2 times oversized as what we actually need for this inverter. So it can only have something to do with the load we throw at this system. Inductive load, resistive load, well, we don't have any capacitive loads here at all. Anyway guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your amazing support here, for all your, I say it all the time, I know, hundreds of comments, but I really like to read your comments and reply to them. Until the next video guys, you stay charged, stay safe, and thanks again for watching. See you then, bye bye. Yeah, let me know what you think. What's going on here?